Welcome. In this video we're going to look how you can put the gearbox all back together. The first step is to start putting some grease on. I've greased up the cogs already. I do that during the shimming process. I didn't show in the video, but I do grease them up. So I've got some silicone grease here, gun grease. What I'm going to do is once again use my cotton bud. I'm just going to put a little bit along this bit, because this is where the piston slides, so I want to make sure there's a bit of grease there to give it a bit of movement. That's good. Same again on the other side of the gearbox, same position, just put some in. Because you'll need it. Helps the piston slide better. Like so. Let's use that bit. I'm going to put a little bit here where the tappet plate is. And that moves. Not a lot, just a little bit around it. Same again on this one. Just a bit along here. So the tappet plate, if it needs to move, it's not going to stick on out. Just a bit of grease. You don't need a lot, just a little. I'm going to put a little bit more on the teeth here because I've been playing with them a lot when I've been shimming them. So let's just spin that around. Get some grease on there. If you grease this one up and spin it and put some on the bottom teeth, it's going to catch all the other gears and grease everything up for you. So that's looking at that. That's better. Don't need too much on. That's a start. So let's get the cylinder head we built earlier and get that into place. That should sit there. That fit really nice. And then just take the top part. And then here we're just gonna knock over your piston, but just put this in. Watch the wires like usual. And then just make sure that closes. Just check that. So we're looking around here to make sure it's closed. We're looking up here to make sure there's no gaps. But that looks like it's in place. So I've got no issues with that. So let's just take that back off. Easier said than done now because I've got a bit. Come on. Oh, now once again knocked that pesky. Oh, and my bearing. So put the bearing back, and then get that trigger back. There we go. Make that shim sits better. Oh, knock my shims off. It's all going to pot. Put my shims back on. There we go. That's that bit. One of the things I like to do next is I've bought a new nozzle. This is the nozzle that came with it. Nozzle. It's a plastic one. So I've bought an upgraded one. If I can get into the stupid packet. And then just going to check that it actually sits nicely on that. Yeah, it's not too tight. Let's just test the original. That's a bit of a better fit, but that should be okay. That should be alright. That should be a nice tight fit for that bit. So let's just do it with the next part. So let's just take this bit back out. Now we've tested it fits. We need to get the tappet plate and nozzle in. So let's put them in there. Like so. And then just line this up. So you want it about, I think it's about there. And this should sit here. And that's about there. So let's just make sure the bottom hole is facing directly downwards, like that. That should be where that goes. That's looking good. We need to put the spring back on. So hook it on the bottom bit, and then we've got to, and this is always a pain, pull it over this metal circle here. There we go. That should be okay. Just make sure it moves. With that done, we just need to put the piston back into this cylinder, and then let's put that in place. I hope if I stop dropping it. Oh, put the cylinder head into the air nozzle, that'd be a good start, wouldn't it? Slide it in, lock it in, push everything into place, make sure the piston is sat in the grooves, which it now is. So everything is lining up. That tappet plate's trying to pop out, but it should be alright once we put the top end in. Now we can just take this bit out, and we need to put the anti-reversal latch back in. The springs come off, which it always does, so just put the spring back on. Like so. Then drop it in. Make sure the spring's against the back bit. Hold it in position. And then drop that back in. That should catch against it. There we go. No, sadly now, because I just turned it, I need to make sure I get it back to where it should be. With that, just going to take that gear out a sec. Just going to rotate that back to where it needs to be, because I started playing with it like an idiot. That needs to be down. That's looking good. Drop that back in position. There we go. That's in place. So this is the original spring and spring guide. I've bought a new spring, an M10 one, and a new guide. So let's put that in place. This is easier said than done. Right, I'm going to need to use my tool on the back end of it. That's not going to be perfect for it. I'm going to need something else to use. Okay, I've got a Allen key, which I should be able to get in the back bit. Give me a bit of leverage if I want to push the spring in. Like so. Make sure it's sitting in place. That is looking about right. That's falling out. Keep that in place because you're going to need to keep pressure on that for the next bit, which is a pain in the butt. We need to get the top bit of the case back on. So use your finger. Keep pressure on that. Oh, the spring is wanting to come out. Right, that's coming all loose a bit. So let's put the pressure back on. Try and get that to sit in the groove on it. There we go, that's better. It wasn't quite in the groove. My shims are coming off. Keep pressure on that. There, just push everything back down. Make sure everything's pushed down. My bearings popped out of my gearbox. Let's get that back in. In fact, what I'm going to quickly do is, because I've been touching my bearings a lot, I'm just going to put a bit more grease on my bearings. Just a little bit on that one. Just a little bit on that one. Just a little bit on that one. Keep them nice. Just to give them a bit more life in them. Then, get rid of my air. you want to put this bit on and then transfer your finger to there to keep the weight on there. Slowly move down the back like so. So that's feeling good. Make sure no wires are trapped. And there's something just a little bit out of line. It's not my, I think it could be my gears. So that's that bit going down. Keep your pressure on. Gears are slightly moved, so just push that one up. It is, sadly, one of the main gears in the middle is being a bit of a poop head. Keep them down. Keep that out of the way. That one's in place. That gear, oh, that bearing's proper popped out. Sadly, that's a failed attempt. So what you need to do is keep the pressure on the back bit and just take it off. And there we go, everything's popped out. Okay, I've managed to get it back together now. So I just need to screw this on, like so. I just want to screw it together, then I'll talk through the process of how I managed to get it together after it exploded. So let's get all the screws back in. With these screws, don't them too tight because it is an aluminium body and the screws are hard, so if you do it too tight you can accidentally screw into the metal and just destroy a little bit. Like that. Let's get that bit together. There we go. So that's all back together. Just pull the trigger, make sure it works. Yep, so basically what I had to do was, I had the Allen key in the back, the finger trick what I showed last time where you keep your finger on there and put it down, and then I used another Allen key, well, that was the Allen key in the back, I used this Allen key to gently just nudge things into place, and then the back slid on. So that's how you do that. That's the gearbox back together. The next stage is just testing, make sure everything works. I'm just going to push on the Tappet plate, make sure that goes in and out. It does. It makes a bit of a weird noise, but hopefully that should go over time. But there we go. That is that bit done. An M110 spring. That was too powerful. It was shooting too hot. It was going over about 400 FPS on 0.2s, which is not allowed. So I changed the spring to an M91 in the end, and I'm getting 335 now. And before that, we did all the upgrades, it was 268, so we have seen an increase in FPS, is which what I wanted, and the grouping is a lot better also. Thank you for watching.